Hi guys, Mike at TradeStalker.com here, and what I thought I'd do real quick here before the open on Monday evening was do just a quick uh, demonstration of show you what my internal gauges are about. I know I talk about these every night in the update. For those of you who read the update, um, I talk about my internal gauges and my sentiment indicators. So let me show you real quick here. Um, this is obviously an Excel spreadsheet that's got the open, high, low, and close. So as we start here, you'll see as we go through this will be a red line. Red line will be the close on the S&P 500, and the other lines will be either extreme bands or whatnot. We'll go through that as we go. Anyhow, on the S&P 500 cash close here, the bands here are starting to tighten up, and when these tighten up, these tend to get pretty decent sized moves after that. So last kind of happened back in here. That led to this move, and then finally at this angles were like that, and then like that, and then straight up in that parabolic run up. All right. Any case, so I look at this and see how we're if those bands are together, or where we're at on the daily, right in the middle of this range here at the moment, and all right, that's about it for prices. Let's go to the internal gauges here. So I have the advancing and declining issues at the close is unchanged in total. I have up and down volume, new highs, new lows, and then indicators from that. All right, so I have a little model here that tells me when the majority of I I have like four indicators that are in this, and they're weighted a little bit. So kind of gives me a visual when the majority of them are at extremes, and you can see they're pretty good at the extreme tops and bottoms. Um, the main thing I wanted to point out here was short term is when I've been mentioning that intraday we get close to an extreme, and that it a turn could happen before it is reached, and so kind of had that situation here the last few I don't know, last week or so. Last few weeks. Let me get past this little bar. All right, this is my RBI oscillator, and like I said, it was the only indicator it was oversold, and it was at an extreme down here and below the green line. So that was I don't know if that was holding the market up. It was in any case it was oversold. My then we move on to my 3-day thrust oscillator. I said on Friday if we had one more bad day with poor internals that we could get too oversold extreme down here, which didn't happen. We got the turnaround, moved it back up into neutral territory, which I've been talking a lot about. They moved back into neutral territory. There was another case where we just needed one more really bad day to get a good washout with a 3-day thrust. Okay, then this is not my indicator. These others are my own homemade indicators, but this is the McClellan oscillator, which has been around for a long time. But this is basically in neutral territory too. I don't bring this up a lot. And then this one I don't bring up either. This would be the thrust on a closing basis. So when it closes at a high or a low, I'm watching for a potential turn in next day. Same deal with the closing trend when you get to an extreme on this side or an extreme on this side. But those aren't indicators I talk about. Let's move down. Um, oh wait, I have a few more here. Let's get through these. I'm going to show you my okay, it, uh, this is a 3-day advanced decline oscillator to get as minors extremes and then major extremes. I don't bring this up a lot. I just like to see this agree with the other indicators if we're at an extreme. It's a bit more important. The Hurlin index, we'll mix that. And this is like the third one that's in that batch that makes up this combo back there. And this is coming from very close. It was a day from an extreme also going down here. And on Friday, it's made a nice move back up, and then one more good up day would get it to the upside here. So that's kind of where the indicators are. They all went very close this last time to oversold and just missed again. And won't be surprised if we just miss on the upside on this trip up. All right, that's let me see if I can get down here to the VIX. One second, it's saving itself. Well, be patient here. Okay. Okay, then the VIX. I put in the open, high, low, and close. Well, it's done for me with my Excel spreadsheet. So in any case, all right. First off, I want to check this one. I'll bring up, but it's an S&P VIX oscillator, and it's now above its top band and been above there for a bit. So this is a bit stretched on the upside. They all came down hard after being at the top up here. So they're working their way back. Indicator here is kind of like working its way back to the middle of this area, this range. I'd expect it to be topping out in here. In any case, there's one that I don't bring it at this one here I do. This one's at 10% below its 10-day average right now, and there was a spike down to 10.91, I believe, on Friday, but it was before the open, and I didn't include it in my calculations. So in any case, this is ready to give sell signals. Sell signal if it should turn up. This is another one. This is an RSI on the VIX, and it's below its bottom threshold. If this goes lower and turns up, that'd also give a sell signal on the VIX. Okay, so those are the sentiment gauges. I showed you the internal gauges. So those are some of the things that I'm looking at to make a market opinion. So for the next day, I like to see them all stacked in one direction to make a decent swing trade. So that's why we've been close the last few times, and I've put on a position and maybe been a day early, but ended up catching them anyways. So all right, looks like we're very close to getting to extended on the upside and sentiment extended on the downside. So we'll see if the market has what we do on Monday here. It should be a pretty important day to start the week. So, all right, guys, we'll see you on Monday in the updates, and then the rest of you folks come to TradeStalker.com and become a member. Become a member tonight before we begin our trading tomorrow. So, have a good evening, guys. Take care.